Yo, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jamon, and I'm here today with Father Figure Institute, and I want to do a reaction video. It's going to be my first, so hopefully it goes well. But today I want to talk about the parenting struggle, and I have a young lady here that I found in the wonderful world of TikTok who's telling her story, and I just want to chime in a little bit on it because it's something that we all go through. So let's get the video started.
Background of struggle and just always in survival mode, having responsibilities way sooner than I should have. When I started having kids, my biggest thing was to make sure that they never had to go through shit like that. They never had to worry about the shit that I had to worry about at their age. Shit like bills and where you gonna live. And I just made sure that they didn't go without because I didn't want them to have to live how I lived at their age. Not wanting to go to school because I didn't have school clothes, just shit like that. I never wanted them to go through that or experience what that was like. So I made sure to provide all of that they needed. So all they had to do was be kids. No matter what I had to go through, you're going to always have a roof over your head. There's always going to be food in the refrigerator. You're going to have
Thanks.
school clothes. You're going to have all your basic necessities. Everything that you need, I'm going to make sure I do that. That's my responsibility as a parent. And no matter how hard that was, I did that. Like I said, having kids real young, you still trying to figure life out. So I may not have always got it in the right ways, but I bet you didn't go without it.
So I just want to chime in real quick. Man, I had children early. Man, I was 23 years old, married with three children. So I can feel her pain, her struggle, because I had no clue who I was, what I wanted. Man, so many things I just didn't know and understand when I was a young father, a young husband. And I made a lot of mistakes. And so I can relate to what she's saying, trying to make sure your kids have what you didn't have. And I think that's the error that we make so many times. Book that I've read, very good book, been around for a long time. It says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. And so this is kind of going to get into the meat of the conversation today. The parenting struggle is we are so busy trying to give the children what we didn't have, and they're not even asking for it. But I digress. I'm gonna let her go and eat a little bit more.
And at the end of the day, them motherfuckers are going to do what they want to do. And it's going to break your heart. And that's what they don't tell you about parenting. Your kids are going to want to learn on their own
Yeah.
and choose their own path. And that shit is going to irritate your soul when you see them making dumbass decisions that you know is not going to end well.
Yep.
And that's just a piece of it. Because the other issue is when you've always financially provided everything for them as well.
Yep.
And the downside to this is when you raise your kids like that to have this stress-free life, sometimes they can grow up to be inconsiderate. So much so that they so used to you carrying the weight of everything, they don't even bother to offer any help because they so used to you doing it. That shit can become real hurtful.
Yo, I just had this conversation with somebody talking about your adult children and how they well, not even adult children, teenagers more specifically. Your children don't know your struggle. Matter of fact, they don't even care about your struggle. It's funny, it's amusing, but your struggle is not their struggle. No matter how good of a parent you think you are being, if your children aren't trained how to move, they're not trained how to handle situations, they're not trained on chores and I mean just all these things that we're supposed to be teaching them. If we don't train them and we're just letting their life be easy because they're children, that's where the parent struggle comes in at. That's where it comes in. And the more training they get, the better adults they'll be, the faster they'll be able to figure it out, and then they'll be more considerate. I just gave my son a copy of my newest book, The Owner's Manual. And I said, bro, here you go. Because he just had his daughter, his first child. And he said, nah, Pop. He said, I'm going to cash out you the money because I got to support. And I'm thinking, wow. Now, it ain't always been rainbows and sunshines. However, that was an example of my child, my son, my namesake, honestly, he got it. He received the message, he understood the assignment, and he acted accordingly. But because he was trained that way. I've trained all my children to not just take, but to always try to add some value. And when they were being ungrateful, I let them know. Yeah, I told them my stories. I told them where I come from, what I've done, the hurdles I had to get over. But I also modeled what it looked like now. And I gave them the exposure to the other side of that coin. And I trained them. Now, it wasn't like boot camp or anything like that. But every day I used teachable moments to show them. I made them do the hard things, the tasks. I made my son cut yards and I mean all kind of stuff. I made him wrestle and play sports. He was gonna play sports anyway. Let me not say that. He's an athlete. He was gonna play football, but I made him wrestle because a man should know how to take care of himself. And so he wasn't feeling it at first, but man, that guy became one of the best wrestlers in the family. And I'm proud of him. But anyway, let's wrap up with this young lady, what she has to say, and then we'll close it on out.
Never had to worry about the shit that I had to worry about at their age. Shit like bills and where you gonna live. And I just made sure that they didn't go without because I didn't want them to have to live how I lived at their age. Not wanting to go to school because I didn't have school clothes, just shit like that. I never wanted them to go through that or experience what that was like. So I made sure to provide all of that they needed. So all they had to do was be kids. No matter what I had to go through, you're going to always have a roof over your head. There's always going to be food in the refrigerator.
Yeah,
You're going to...
She's struggling. I'm gonna end it right there because she's definitely struggling. You can see the emotion. You can see the tears starting to form. She's dealing with some ungrateful children, and honestly, they're not ungrateful. They're just living their truth. It's not our children's fault that we made their life comfortable. It's our fault. And if we give them comfort without structure, if we give them comfort without responsibility, they're going to be really ungrateful. And it all starts from the time they're born until the time they walk out that door. So it's on us to be the best parent we can. And how can you be that if you don't have the tools? So like I said, my name is Jamon. You can find me at fatherfigureinstitute.com. And I just wrote a book for parents who are having children between 0 and 7. If you want to get ahead of that curve, go ahead and check the book out. I promise you'll love it. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.